Please like this video. It will really help this story reach as many people as possible. Thank you so much for your support. Naomi's living room was all string lights and mismatched chairs. I was at the kitchen island talking with Tyler about his busted shoulder when the music hiccuped and died. Then I heard her voice over the dead air. Best thing about Ethan? Lauren was on the walnut coffee table with a glass in hand. His biggest talent is being invisible. Somebody chuckled, then caught themselves. The room turned toward me. She tipped the glass like a host warming up a crowd. I didn't move quick. I set down my seltzer, pushed off the island, and walked in. Lauren's heel slid an inch on a magazine. She windmilled, expecting hands to catch her. I didn't offer any. She recovered. Barely. Hop down, I told her calm. Table's not a stage. Oh, relax, she waved me off. It's a joke. The joke's stale, I replied. I stood beside the table, not touching it. For the record, this invisible guy put the roof over us, fixed the AC last month, and booked the trips you brag about. A couple faces dropped. Naomi's smile shrank. Tyler looked between us. Lauren's grin froze. You're doing a bit? Cute. No. I turned to the Bluetooth speaker on the console and hit play. Then I turned it off again. I'm done doing bits. She blinked. I nodded at the floor. Step down, Lauren. She stepped down, wobbling once. I let her find her own balance. I gave Naomi a small nod on my way past, grabbed my keys from the bowl by the door, and walked out onto the porch for air. If I'd known where it was headed, I would have skipped the porch and driven straight home. The morning after, our kitchen had that rental apartment silence. Keurig hissed. The dog watched us from his bed like he didn't want to pick a side. Lauren came in wearing my gray hoodie like she owned the weekend. You're mad. She opened the fridge. You humiliated me, I told the countertop. Then I looked up. Not a misunderstanding. Not oops, wrong audience. You went for a laugh at my expense. It was a joke at a party. She poured oat milk into her coffee, eyes on the cup. Everyone understood except you. I set my mug down. No, everyone understood perfectly. She rolled a shoulder. You're being sensitive. I'm being clear. I leaned on the island. We can do one of two things. We can ignore it and pretend it's part of your brand. Or we can sit with a neutral person and figure out why invisible felt safe to say out loud. You want therapy now? She gave a dry laugh. Let a stranger tell me how to fix you? Let a stranger tell me how to keep respect. I answered. I'm not angry. I'm not shouting. I'm telling you my line. She lifted the mug, hid behind it a second. Fine. Book it. Let the specialist explain how I'm the villain. We're not doing theatrics, I said. If we go, we show up on time. We tell the truth, and we own our parts. Whatever. She pushed off the island, opened her phone. I'm slammed this week. Then send me your windows. I took my mug, rinsed it, and set it on the rack. And we won't be doing the party circuit together for a bit. Her jaw shifted. So now you're grounding me. No. I'm taking myself off the menu where I'm not respected. I grabbed my keys. Text me your schedule by noon. She didn't text by noon. She texted at 4. Thursday, 6 p.m. works. If your feelings can wait. They could. I went to work. Thursday came with a last-minute client fire and a shrug. She got home near 11. Tosta was chaos, over her shoulder, and shut off the light. I slept. 2 days of tight-lipped routines followed. Dinners like hotel trays. Her phone face down, but never off the table. Little pings and tiny smiles. She stopped asking me anything and started asking the dog. If the house had been a conference room, she would have booked it by the hour. On Sunday, I tried again. Calendar for the week? I asked, tying my boots by the bench. I'll let you know, she said without looking up from her laptop. That's not how this works. She tapped something and shrugged. Busy. Then we'll simplify, I replied. I won't chase. She glanced up. Wow. Cool. Accurate, I said. I'm tired of playing nice while being treated like the potted plant in the corner. She snorted. There's that sensitivity again. Yes, I said. It's called a boundary. She closed the laptop with a little clap. This vibe you're on, it's not attractive. Neither is last week, I added, pulling on my jacket. We start therapy this week. Or we stop sharing a bedroom. Pick one. Her eyebrows jumped. Are you serious? Dead. She stared at me long enough to decide if it was a bluff. Then she looked away. I'll check my calendar. Do it, I said, and headed to the gym. Tyler was at the squat rack doing more talking than lifting. He's my friend from a job site 10 years back. Blunt, loyal, occasionally too honest. You good? He asked as I racked the bar. Peachy. Naomi called me, he said. Said she felt weird about the party. She liked how you handled it. Naomi liked that I left my wife standing on a table. She liked that you didn't turn it into a circus. Word around is nobody thinks you overreacted. If anything, you did the opposite. Good to hear. I muttered, chalking my palms. I'm not fishing, Tyler added. Just don't overcorrect into doormat again. I wasn't planning to. Good. He pointed at the bar. Now pick it up like it owes you money. Monday, Lauren sent. Wednesday, 7 p.m., therapist on South Lamar. Don't be late. 30 minutes later, client dinner tonight. Might be late. She came back after midnight. Hair freshened, perfume that wasn't ours. I asked nothing. I wrote down home 12:17 a.m., said client dinner. I wasn't trying to be a detective. I was trying to keep from arguing with fog. Wednesday afternoon, she canceled again. Boss moved meeting, can't make it. Thursday, I moved my schedule. Thursday, she texted, running behind, go without me if you must. I went. Sat with a polite woman who offered tea and said we should reschedule together. I left the empty chair alone. At home, I cooked 2 chicken breasts, put one in the fridge with a note. Yours. It stayed untouched. She ate yogurt at midnight like a soldier in a barracks. Friday night, she slid in while I was fixing a loose cabinet hinge. Wow, handyman, she said, leaning on the doorframe. Welcome home. Don't start. She lifted her hands. I haven't said anything yet, I replied. You've been tense, she said. You've been absent, I countered. We have an appointment Monday at 6. You'll be there. She smirked. To hear how I'm cruel to the invisible man. To hear how we fix respect, I answered. Or confirm we can't. She stared at the floor a second. Then she stepped closer, almost like she might lean her forehead on my shoulder. I didn't mean to hurt you at Naomi's. That's the first true sentence this week, I said. She let out a breath. I'll try Monday. Trying looks like showing up. She nodded once. Okay. That was the first softening. It lasted until Monday at 4, when she texted. Boss pulled me into a pre-launch review. I'll make it up to you. No address, no time. I didn't respond. I fixed the hinge, went for a run, and made myself a bowl of rice and eggs. Let me pause the story for just a second. If you're still listening, please hit the like button on this video. It really helps YouTube show this story to more people. Thank you so much for the support. Now let's get back to the story. At 10, I heard a car outside. She came in with a plastic bag from a salad place. I brought you a Caesar, she said, holding it up like a peace flag. Appreciated, I told her, taking it and putting it in the fridge. We'll need more than lettuce. You're impossible, she muttered and walked to the bedroom. I let that sit. Next morning, I moved from talk to logistics. I'm done trying to keep a vibe alive by myself, I told her on the patio while the dog sniffed the same patch of grass he always claims. Starting today, the bedroom is mine. Your things are in the guest room. The front locks change at 5. You keep a key. You message before you show. This house is not a stage. It's for people who tell the truth. She blinked fast, then laughed like I tripped. You're changing locks? That is so small. It's called order. You can't. I can and will. I cut in. Come to therapy, talk like an adult, and this is all temporary. Keep running the hotel routine, and it's permanent. You are punishing me. I'm protecting me. I checked my watch. I'm at the office at 9. If you need help moving your stuff, I can give you 30 minutes. After that, I'm out. You're unbelievable, she said, but softer, testing. Believe it. At 9, I helped carry 2 armloads to the guest room and set her folded sweaters on the bed. I left her the better desk. I put the dog's bed in our room and closed the door. At noon, the locksmith knocked. He changed the deadbolts while I answered emails. Lauren stood in the hallway with her arms crossed. At 6, she came home and found her rhythm interrupted. She tried the knob, then knocked twice. I opened, stayed in the doorway. This is ridiculous, she said. I just need my charger. In the guest room, I answered. Give me 5 and I'll grab it. She took a breath. Just let me in. No, I replied. This isn't a penalty box. It's clarity. You wanted space. You have it. Her tone switched. Ethan, please. I'm exhausted. Can you not Make it harder? I fetched the charger, placed it in her hand. You made it harder at Naomi's, I said. This makes it honest here. She stared at me. Then the second softening came out like a script change. Can we start over tonight? I could make dinner. We could talk. That happens at therapy, I said. Book it. Show up. She swallowed. Fine. The following week, the internet turned into a stage. She started posting grayscale quotes, some masked smile to survive, a shot of her hand on a coffee cup. Safety isn't always bruises. Another, sometimes the loudest harm is the silence. DMs trickled in from people I barely knew, checking on me like I'd turned into a haunted attic. I didn't answer anything public. I screenshotted, timestamped, saved. I kept going to work, going to the gym, and keeping the house clean enough to prove a point without saying it. Tyler spotted me on the bench and grunted. Saw some posts. Yep. You're not replying. Nope. Good. He nodded. Let people do math. In the middle of that, Ben texted, coffee. Ben doesn't ask for sit-downs. He's a quiet guy I know from a project we did in East Austin. Good eyes, fewer words than a voicemail. We met at a tiny place off Cesar Chavez. He showed up late on purpose, like he debated coming. I don't poke my nose in, he started, sliding into the chair across from me. You don't, I agreed. He fiddled with his cup lid. People have seen Lauren on East 6th. Same spot. Same guy. Consistent. What people? I asked. More than one, he said. I thought they were random until two of them described the same jacket. Thanks. I'm not saying anything beyond that. You said enough, I told him. I appreciate it. He nodded once. You good? I'm organized, I replied. He lifted his cup. That's your superpower. Apparently I'm invisible, I said. Yeah, well, Ben pointed to his eyes. I see you. I didn't ask Lauren where she was that night or the next. She slipped in after midnight twice more. I wrote it down in clean handwriting. Dates, times, her texts about pre-launch, the salad bag, the remarks. Not rage. Record. Then the thing that ends hope. At 1:30 a.m. my phone buzzed. Ben again. Hate this, the text said, then 4 photographs loaded. Lauren under patio lights behind a bar on East 6th, head tipped, mouth near some guy's neck, his hand on her hip. In the next, she was pressed to his chest, palm on him like she was steadying a fence post. Every photo had a neat little corner timestamp. I looked once. Then I printed them at home on the color laser I keep for invoices. I slid them into a manila folder with my notes and screenshots. Numbers don't lie even when people do. Next morning, the lawyer's name came from a friend who said nothing else. I made an appointment, took a shower, put on a clean shirt, and drove to a low building with the kind of parking lot where nobody waves at each other. Amy Reeves had that calm a person gets when they know this is the worst day of your month, not theirs. She listened. She didn't dramatize. She told me what to fill out. I signed. No speeches. No threats. Facts, dates, logistics, the house, the accounts. She raised an eyebrow at the photos and the timestamps and said, You were meticulous. Occupational hazard, I told her. On my way out, Amy reminded me about the pre-launch party for a craft outfit in East Austin. Public event. Guest list included Lauren and, on some copy, a name that wasn't mine. I took the week to move the money that was shared into the buckets that were clean. I listed the tools in the garage, labeled boxes, moved heirlooms into the safe. I knocked out a contract at work 2 weeks early. I canceled 2 dinners and made no excuses. If I was going to end a marriage, I was going to end it like a carpenter finishes a cut. Square, clean, no splinters left for later. Lauren tried 2 approaches. First at the door with a soft face. You're being cruel. Then later with a long voice message about pressure and meant nothing and you know my heart. I didn't argue with a voicemail. I texted, Therapy Wednesday 6 p.m. I'll be there. She hearted the message and didn't show. The following night, she knocked at 9. I just need my blazer for tomorrow, she said through the wood. Let me in to grab it. I'll bring it, I answered. Ethan, come on. 5 minutes. I fetched the blazer from the guest closet. I also brought a small box of her perfumes and set it down by her feet. She stared at the box. I didn't ask for those. It'll save us a round, I replied. Stop making this so formal. Formality keeps things from breaking, I said. Her eyes were big and soft then. I miss you. I leaned on the door jamb. Do you miss me, or do you miss the version of me that pretended this was fine? She swallowed. You're so cold now. You wanted cool, I said. I can do cool. She reached a hand toward my chest, stopped when I didn't lean in. I'm cooking enchiladas tomorrow, she tried. We could eat and not talk about any of this. We talk at therapy, or we don't talk, I told her. I'm not resetting without repair. She pulled back, smiled thin. You'll regret this. Doubt it, I said, and closed the door gently. 2 days later, she posted a story, her hand on a railing, captioned, Some people control through silence. I screenshotted and filed it. Tyler texted 3 words, head up, forward. Then Ben sent the second batch of photos, from someone else's phone this time. Different night, same patio lights, same posture. I didn't reply. I printed them and slid them into the folder. Then I wrote in my notebook, Decision final. The pre-launch night in East Austin was all reclaimed wood, Edison bulbs, and those tin cups people think make drinks taste artisanal. I parked a block over. I didn't walk in quick. I wasn't late on purpose. I was exact. The roof deck had a string of lights pulled tight like a harbor. There were barrels as high tables and a neon sign on brick that said something about community. I spotted her before she saw me. Emerald dress, hair pinned, hand on an arm that wasn't mine. She did that thing where she touched everyone lightly when she laughed, like she was anointing them. Tyler was there with a colleague. He caught my eye and gave a single nod that meant, I'm present, but I'm not your security. Ben stood near the rail, alone, finishing a seltzer. He didn't wave. I walked over without dramatic footfalls. Lauren turned, smile already growing for a new audience. Then she saw the folder in my hand, and the smile misfired. What's this? She asked, bright voice turned brittle. Documents, I said. I set the manila folder on the high table between the cocktail straws and a bowl of limes. I slid it open. First the signed forms, then the photos, printed clean with dates like little anchors. She glanced down and did a half laugh. You're dramatizing. I moved the top photo half an inch toward her. You told me once you could leave any time you wanted, I said quietly. Are you sure you mean it? The man on her arm. He wore nice shoes and a nervous watch, leaned in, looked at the corner of the photo where the time stamp lived, then at the date printed under my notes. He went white around the mouth. I didn't know you were, he started, then stepped back. I'm not part of this. He put his hands up like a ref and backed away into the crowd, leaving her with empty air where his attention had been. The people near us did that social math and went silent. It felt like Naomi's living room again, but tilted the other way. The spotlight wasn't on me this time. It slid. She tried a last pivot. You're doing this here to what? Make me look bad. I kept my voice even. I'm doing this here so we both stop pretending in public. Ethan, don't do this, she hissed. Let's talk. We had months to talk. I slid the photos back together, left them with the papers. I'm done being invisible. I gave her one small nod the way you nod to a person stepping off a train you're not on. Then I turned and walked away through the people and the hanging lights and the tin cups. Nobody stopped me. Tyler didn't clap. Ben didn't smile. They just made space. That was enough. After that night, I didn't go back to the house. I had a duffel in my truck, and I checked into a short-term rental off South First while the paperwork moved along without theater. Amy called twice. I answered, signed what I needed, and kept my mouth off social media. Lauren's posts slowed from daily riddles to thin photos of coffee with captions about growth. The comments got kind but short. In the weeks after, 3 things happened that mattered. First, Naomi texted, I'm sorry about my living room. You didn't deserve that. Second, Tyler dragged me to a backyard cookout where nobody tiptoed around me. They handed me tongs and asked me to flip burgers like I hadn't just shut down a show. Third, Ben dropped a 6-pack of seltzer on my porch and left a sticky note. No words needed. Lauren tried once more. She left a card in my mailbox with my name written in her careful print. Inside, we got lost. I want to find us again. Dinner. No dates, no specifics, just a pitch to stall the clock. I put the card in the folder with everything else and left it there. A month later, the papers were done the way a clean job is done. Signatures, not fireworks. She kept what made sense. I kept what mattered to me. No courtroom. No speeches. The dog stayed with me. He likes predictability more than drama. When she came to pick up the last of her boxes, I wasn't there. Tyler was. He handed her the key and a printed list of items checked off. She didn't argue with a list. Time pulled forward. Spring landed on Austin like it always does. Oak pollen on trucks, patio chairs waking up, brisket smell drifting from someone's backyard 3 streets over. I found a small house with a decent yard and a shade tree that makes the afternoons calmer. I sold the old sofa and bought a table that fits friends without squeezing knees. I kept my shop schedule tight and said no to 2 gigs that wanted chaos up front and apologies later. I signed a new contract that looked like the grown-up version of my work. I slept without waiting for a key in the lock. I don't tell you this to flex. I'm not 19. I'm a man who built a lane and then got out of it when a parade showed up and thought my life was their route. One Saturday in June, I had people over. Not a party, just burgers, a chopped salad, and a cooler with ice that actually had enough for everyone. Tyler showed up with his shoulder better. My neighbor Jess brought a pie she said she burnt but didn't. Ben came and stood near the grill like he was guarding it. A woman named Claire, who I met through a client, came too. She's steady. She asks one good question and then listens to the answer. She scratched the dog's head and didn't do that fake high voice people use with animals. We ate, we talked. People left their plates in the sink without asking like they knew the rules. At some point, Tyler bumped my elbow with his beer. "You're quieter," he said. "I am," I agreed. "In a good way." "Yeah." I flipped a burger, handed it to Ben, and nodded toward the little wood plaque Claire had noticed on the fence. It says, in simple letters, "House rules. Tell the truth. Respect the house." Claire had asked earlier, "You really need that up?" "Not for me," I told her. "For pattern recognition." She smiled at that. I like patterns that have words. Same. We didn't talk about Lauren. We didn't have to. People know when a story's closed. Every once in a while I still hear about her from a friend of a friend. She moved apartments, switched her hair, changed up her feed. Clients dropped off. The posts got sparse. The captions got longer. I don't check. If a screenshot lands on my phone, it lands in the folder with everything else and stays there. If you're looking for a lesson, it's not complicated. Don't confuse silence with kindness. Don't mistake public shame for honesty. And if someone tells you they can leave any time, believe them. Then make it easy by opening the door. I walked out because I was done arguing with the performance. I don't regret the porch at Naomi's, or the folder on the rooftop, or the locksmith. Those weren't stunts. Those were a man finally matching his actions to his standards. The night of that pre-launch, as I crossed the lot to my truck, I felt the same calm you get when a job site goes from chaos to clean. Tools in their cases. Sawdust swept. The cut is square. You put your hand on the board and it doesn't wobble. That's what I wanted. Not applause. Not a win. Just a room that stops pretending it's a stage. And now, when people come over, they come to a house, not a theater. They know the rule and they live by it. That's enough. Our story has come to an end. If you've made it this far, how about subscribing to our channel? It helps us immensely. I've selected 2 other videos for you that I'm sure you'll enjoy. Feel free to click on them. I'll be waiting for you in the next story. See you soon.